You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly.
This is good. I've been hot. I put it on.
successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly.
Not this. No.
You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin
How are
shortly.
you?
There you are.
You get to finally do it. My projects didn't keep bumping you off the agenda.
You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly.
Thank you.
You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly. You've successfully joined the webcast. Our program will begin shortly.
Excuse me, Rich.
No. Excuse me. Hi, Rich. Are you on? This is Lil Rizik from USA
Urban Development Corporation, doing business as Empire State Development for this Thursday, June 26, 2025. I'd like to remind staff members joining us remotely today to please mute your audio until you're ready to speak. I'd like to note that the public was given an opportunity to attend today's meeting to provide comments on the agenda items. I'd like to state for the record that we do not have any members of the public in attendance today. Is that still accurate? Okay. In addition, the public was given an opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by noon yesterday. And I'll state for the record that no comments were received from the public regarding any of today's agendas, items. The directors have received the written materials in advance of today's meeting, and of course are free to ask questions at any times during the presentations. I will now at this time ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the agenda items. Benson?
DFS will abstain from voting on the New York State Small Business Credit Initiative Technical Assistance Grant Program.
Very good, that's item 4A, and we'll state that again when we get to that item on the agenda. Any other potential conflicts? All right. Let's see, before we get to our first agenda item, I'd like to first go around the room for directors so we can recognize the quorum, and then I'll ask staff around the table to introduce themselves as well. So,
Michael Rosen, Director.
John Wong, Director.
Maureen Harris, Director.
Benson Martin, Designee, DFS.
Hilda Rosario Escher, Director.
Hope Knight, President, CEO.
and we have somebody participating from the Rochester area. Hi, Francine.
Hi, Kevin. Niagara Falls.
Okay. Well, so we most certainly have a quorum, and we're in a position to conduct business. And so then, starting with Kevin Eunice, I'll ask staff to introduce themselves around the horn here. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good morning, Kevin Eunice, Chief Operating Officer, ESD.
Arden Sokolow, EVP of Real Estate.
Liz Luskin, EVP, Small Business and Technology Development.
Simone Bethune, Senior Project Manager, Loans and Grants.
Bet Yee, Senior Director, Entrepreneur Development.
Joshua Breitbart, Senior Vice President, Connect All.
Joe Taswell, New York City Regional Director.
Tony DeLucio, Deputy CFO, Controller.
Ray Orlando, Chief Financial Officer.
Carlene Turner-Beverly, Senior Counsel, Legal.
Earl Thompson, Vice President, Entrepreneur Development.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us today. We will go right to the first item on the agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of March 27th, 2025, as well as the minutes from May 22nd, 2025, which minutes have been circulated to the board. I will move them and Michael seconds them. Are there any comments, revisions, or additions to the minutes? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. I'll now hand it over to our esteemed CEO and President, Hope Knight, to provide us with her monthly President's Report.
Thank you, Kevin, and good morning, directors. Summer is historically New York's most popular travel season, so hopefully you've seen some of our I Love New York ads from the summer campaign. And since our last meeting, I've been traveling extensively to promote and support economic growth throughout the state. Earlier this month, I led a delegation of New York-based businesses and academics on a trade mission to the Netherlands. Last year, New York and the Netherlands signed an agreement to collaborate on semiconductor research and innovation with a special focus on sustainability. This visit represented the first official follow-up to that agreement, and it was a great opportunity to strengthen our relationship with the Dutch, who are global leaders in the technology. And last week I was in Los Angeles meeting with different movie studios and executives. This was an opportunity not only to encourage studios to consider New York State for future productions, but to share details about the film tax credit enhancements in the new enacted budget. We were all very well received in both LA and the Netherlands, and I'd like to thank all of the ESD staff that helped with the planning and execution of these trips to ensure that they were successful. This month also brought me to the Southern Tier to celebrate the completion of Alston's new $75 million expansion in Hornell. The rail transportation company built a new plant and is creating nearly 260 union-supported jobs on site. This entire operation was reshored back from Brazil to New York State, a huge win for domestic manufacturing. The Hornell site has been a major employer for over a century and plays a critical role in the regional economy. And that plant has delivered more than 8,000 rail vehicles to customers across North America, including 1,000 subway cars to New York City Transit. This is a big win for New York State, and I'd like to recognize the efforts of Mike Morse from our Strategic Business Investment for help on this project. And also this month saw a groundbreaking at Orbrick's new manufacturing hub in Hauppauge, Suffolk County. The new $110 million manufacturing facility will bring the company's entire manufacturing and production operations from India and China to its New York-based headquarters. The project is expected to create more than 1,000 new high-tech jobs, and at full capacity will manufacture up to 5 million devices annually, including smartphones, tablets, wearables, and networking equipment. This project is being supported by up to $10 million in performance-based Excelsior tax credits. And I'd especially like to thank our esteemed chairman for stepping in to represent ESD at this event. That concludes my president's report, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Well, thank you. Hope you owe me because
I know.
the event went on and on and on for about 2 hours. And I had to rush out, and I'm like, I thought I was the first speaker. I wound up being like the 5th speaker. But it was a great event, a great company, a great, it's great to see we're bringing manufacturing jobs back. So it's neat. Very cool, given New York's history with the Dutch, that you were in the Netherlands. And it makes me think, I don't know if we've done it yet, and maybe also for some of the newer board members, that ESD does play a significant role internationally.
Yes.
And maybe at an upcoming meeting, we could do a spotlight of what we are doing
Sure.
internationally,
Absolutely.
to help New York companies and to help our
Absolutely.
state here. I
Yes,
think that would
we'll
be a
do
good
that.
topic.
Yes.
Good. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Hope? Well, thank you very much, Hope. We're going to continue. We just finished early this morning a Audit and Finance Committee meeting, and Anthony DeLessio, our Deputy Chief Financial Officer and Controller, is going to make a presentation on the annual financial reports. Tony?
Thank you, Chairman, and good morning, Commissioner, Directors, Senior Staff of Empire State Development. The Public Authorities Law requires annually approval by the corporation's Board of Directors and certifications by the President and Chief Executive Officer and the Chief Financial Officer of certain financial reports. The reports consist of financial information as set forth in the consolidated financial statements, an independent auditor's report dated as of March 31, 2025 and 2024 fiscal year ends, as prepared with the corporation's independent audit firm, EFPR Group LLP. The audit report for the fiscal year ended March 31, 2025 contains an unmodified clean opinion reflecting that the consolidated financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position, results of operations, and cash flows of the corporation and its subsidiaries. In addition, the independent auditor's report on internal control over financial reporting and on compliance, addressing whether control deficiencies or material weaknesses in internal control exist, did not identify any deficiencies or any deficiencies that would be considered material weaknesses. The audit firm was also able to obtain reasonable assurance that the corporation's financial statements are free of material misstatement by performing tests of compliance with certain provisions of laws, regulations, contracts, and grant agreements, including the corporation's investment guidelines and other matters. Non-compliance with any of these could have a direct and material effect on the financial statement and line item amounts on the financial statements. Included in the materials presented is the complete audit report for the fiscal year ended March 31, 2025. The preparation of the audit report included a 30.9% participation by MBE and/or WBE firms, minority and woman-owned business enterprises, and 6% by an SDVOB firm, service-disabled, veteran-owned businesses. The audit report was presented to the Audit and Budget Committee earlier this morning and was accepted without comment. With us today are Douglas Zimmerman and Brent Jensen, partners at ESD's audit firm, EFPR, and we're happy to entertain any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, so for the board members who were not on the Audit and Finance Committee meeting, and our meeting this morning, we got down into the weeds a little bit. We asked a lot of questions, and I think we should feel comfortable that clean opinions, no significant issues raised in any of the areas that were reviewed, no red flags, full cooperation from management, and our outside auditors, a specific question I asked, anything as board members and exercising our fiduciary duties, do we need to be concerned about? And they said, absolutely not. Everything could not have gone more smooth. So a testament to Ray and Tony and their team, a testament to Hope and her team's leadership, but as board members, we could take comfort in knowing that everything that we are supposed to be doing and obligated to be doing and required to be doing is being done, and no issues being raised. Any questions from any of the board members? This does not require a vote or an action on our part. This is more of a report. Is that correct? Good. All right. So thank you, Tony, Ray, and our folks from EPFR. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we'll move on to our spotlight presentation this week. There is a vote. Okay. It says that here. Yeah, but I stepped right over it. And that's why we didn't take it in the Audit and Finance Committee, and that's why we're doing it here. So, in light of everything I just said, I will make that in the form of a motion. Hilda seconds it. Are there any comments or questions on the motion? All right. There are no comments from the public. So, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. All right. All right. So I'm good for one mistake every meeting. Hopefully that's the only one. Next, now we'll have our spotlight presentation. And I'm going to remind all the folks on the phone to please make sure your phones and your screens are on mute. We have Earl Thomason, who's our Vice President of Entrepreneur Development, to present this month's presentation on the Entrepreneur Assistance Centers.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, Chairman Law, Commissioner Knight, and esteemed members of the ESD Board. My name is Earl Thomason Jr., and I serve as the Vice President of Entrepreneur Development. Thank you for the opportunity to share an overview of the Entrepreneurship Assistance Centers, or EAC program, which is managed by my team. Today, I'll start with a brief introduction to our team and the programs we oversee, followed by a deeper look into the EACs and the role they play in supporting entrepreneurs across New York State. The Entrepreneur Development Team is one of 5 groups within the Small Business and Technology Development Division, led by Liz Luskin. We're a small but committed team, and each of us plays a role in supporting the EAC program. Bet, who's also here today, leads with strategic oversight to ensure quality and consistency across the network. Jingshu and Paulina manage our day-to-day coordination and support. Dana, our ombudsperson, helps connect entrepreneurs to the broader ecosystem of resources across ESD. Gerardo manages the New York State Contract Reporter and works to make contracting opportunities more accessible. Both Dana and Gerardo also lead ongoing outreach at events across the state. And Tyler, our newest team member, supports multiple initiatives, especially those related to the SSBCI Technical Assistance Program, which I will talk more about in a moment. Currently, the largest program our team manages and the focus of today's spotlight is the EAC program. The program was launched in 1987 to ensure that New Yorkers, especially those from historically underserved communities, have access to the tools, training, and resources needed to start or grow a business. Last year, with the support of the governor and the legislature, funding for each EAC more than doubled, enabling us to expand the network from 24 to 26 centers and significantly enhancing the quality and consistency of services statewide. The centers are strategically located in or near economically distressed communities, but their reach extends to all entrepreneurs within their region. As you can see from the map, we have 11 centers in the New York City region, 2 in Long Island, 2 in the Mid-Hudson, 4 in Western New York, and at least 1 in every other economic region throughout the state. Each EAC is selected through a competitive RFA process, prioritizing organizations like chambers of commerce, nonprofits, and universities, entities with deep roots in their communities and the infrastructure to deliver high-quality, hands-on programming. All EACs provide 60 hours of foundational business training, a focus on the business model canvas and lean launchpad frameworks, which help clients shape and test their business ideas. All EACs provide one-on-one mentorship and coaching and support with access to capital, business formation, and even MWB certification. So whether an entrepreneur needs help drafting a business plan, developing a marketing strategy, preparing financial projections, or figuring out how to legally structure their company, the EAC is where they go for tailored hands-on support. Most clients are in the startup or early ideation phase, with majority having been in business for 5 years or less. The program is specifically designed to serve women, veterans, dislocated workers, minorities, and others from historically underserved communities. EAC clients work across a wide range of sectors, but we see the highest concentrations in retail, food service, beauty, childcare, construction, and creative services. Over the past several years, demand for EAC services has grown significantly, especially during and after the pandemic, as entrepreneurs sought stable, trusted guidance to help them pivot and grow. As many of us know, when a business succeeds, it doesn't just uplift the individual, it creates jobs, strengthens families, and stimulates entire local economies. And that's exactly what we saw in the most recent program year. Over 3,000 entrepreneurs were served, more than 100 new businesses were launched, nearly $10 million in capital was secured, and thousands of jobs were created or retained. This kind of tailored, community-embedded support is what makes the EAC program so essential. And to better understand how these services are being delivered and where we can continue to strengthen them, we spent the last few months visiting the centers in person. I'm proud to share that in just 4 months, we've completed site visits to 23 out of 26 centers, and by the end of July, we'll have completed them all. These visits have allowed us to check in with each EAC and discuss any operational challenges, strengthen our relationships with regional partners, and gain a deeper understanding of what our centers actually need to thrive. The photos on this slide highlight just a few of our visits, including our stop at Hofstra University, where we had the privilege of hearing remarks from Hofstra's president, Susan Poser, our trip to Western New York, where we visited all 4 EACs serving that region, our visit to the North Country, where we toured client businesses near Saranac Lake with the EAC team at the Adirondack Economic Development Corporation. And it also includes several of our visits to our EACs across New York City. Each visit has been truly unique and a meaningful experience, and I want to extend my sincere thanks to Vinny Esposito and all of the ESD regional office representatives who joined us and helped make these engagements so impactful. Our ESD network is a powerful infrastructure that allows us to respond to the evolving needs of small businesses through timely, targeted programming. So while all centers deliver our core services, we often fund select EACs to pilot special initiatives that align with statewide priorities. One example is the business plan competition. In last year's state budget, the governor and legislature allocated funding for this pilot program to support entrepreneurs in the earliest stages of business development. Through this program, EAC graduates have the opportunity to pitch their ideas and compete for awards ranging from $5,000 to $25,000. The photos in this slide are from recent EAC events where the winners of the competition were announced. We're also preparing to launch the Harmony AI Technical Assistance Program, which will teach entrepreneurs how to use artificial intelligence to enhance their operations and stay competitive. This initiative is a part of the governor's broader Harmony AI proposal, which emphasizes the importance of making sure businesses of all sizes are prepared and knowledgeable about emerging technologies, especially those traditionally left out of tech advancements. We'll actually be sharing formal program guidelines with the board very soon. In addition, we've used the EAC network to deliver the State Small Business Credit Initiative, or SSBCI. This is a federal program that allows us to fund 4 EACs to provide financial, legal, and accounting support to socially and economically disadvantaged individuals and very small businesses. The goal is to help these entrepreneurs become capital ready and better positioned for long-term success. We've also leaned heavily on the EACs during the pandemic. Through efforts like the Pandemic Small Business Recovery Grant, we work with the EACs to support displaced workers and small businesses affected by COVID-19. That same spirit of collaboration and resilience continues through our EAC annual conference. This is where we bring the entire network together to connect, learn, and celebrate the incredible work they do. We rotate conference locations each year to highlight and uplift a different economic region of the state. Last year we met in Niagara, and this year we're heading to Lake George. The conference includes technical training sessions on topics like client services, program compliance, community outreach strategies, and even emerging topics like AI. On the final night of the conference, we host a dinner where we recognize top performing EACs and honor entrepreneurs nominated by their centers for the Entrepreneur of the Year Award. On this slide, you'll see just a few of the incredible business owners we recognized. Jorge Pani scaled Las Americas Barbecue from a food truck to a thriving restaurant chain with support from the Women's Enterprise Development Center in Westchester. Lauren Flack grew Brooklyn Cannery from a local startup into an award-winning prebiotic soda company with support from Southwest Brooklyn Industrial Development Corporation. And Odasia Burton Garland, she actually turned her personal tragedy into purpose. After losing her firstborn son, she spent 15 years as a nurse and then launched her company, Pulse Career Solutions, in 2022 to help underserved individuals build healthcare careers. With support from the Capital Region Chamber Foundation, Odasia refined her business strategy, secured funding, and actually won first place in the business plan competition. Today, her company has trained over 180 individuals, and she also offers free CPR and narcan training to local nonprofits and community organizations. Her journey is just one example of how when an EAC supports an entrepreneur, it not only helps uplift themselves, it also sparks lasting, positive change in their community. So as you can see, our EACs are at the front lines, supporting entrepreneurs directly and taking on everything that comes with doing so. The Entrepreneur Development Team is proud to support their work and even more proud of the people and businesses that grow through the program. If anyone would like to learn more about the EACs, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at nyseac@esd.ny.gov. Thank you all again for your time.
Well, thank you, Earl. Very informative. Is this your first time presenting to the board?
Yes, can't see me sweating.
How long have you been with the ESD?
I've been here for about 2.5 years, but I'm in this position about, I think, 8 months, since October.
Well, great job.
Thank you.
A couple of questions for you. So all the EACs that we fund, the people who work at the EACs, are they all our employees? Or are they part of the universities where they're housed at, or part of not-for-profits, or how does
Part of
that
the
work?
organization that they're housed at.
Yeah. We don't have any staff in these EACs. We just fund them.
We fund, yep.
Got it. All right. Yeah. So I'm, living in, a poor community. I have this great idea, to create a company. What do I do? How do I know about the EAC? And then, if I go there, again, somebody's going to help me soup to nuts to try to flesh out my idea and get it going.
Yes, from the ESD perspective, we have a website where we have a directory of all the EACs that you can find nearby you. And then the organizations themselves are truly embedded. So they do their own marketing consistently and are able to talk about the services that the EAC provides.
Got it. So like I know, at least on Long Island, there's a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, there's an African American Chamber of Commerce. Do we try to make sure that they're up to speed on these programs and they're getting it out to their networks?
Yes, we're actually having a meeting with the African American Chamber of Commerce soon, but we're always in contact with them.
Very good. All right, great. Glad to hear. Hilda?
Yeah, I'm the former CEO for Agro-American actually.
Oh, nice.
So I can vouch for that. And we did a lot of marketing, so very successful.
Very good.
Very, very successful, very helpful for unserved communities.
And do all of our state elected officials, the assemblymen and senators, I would think they would want to know about this program, that they could actually host events in parts of their communities that they represent to educate folks on a program like this. Do we make sure the elected officials are aware of all the good things we're doing?
Yeah, from the wisdom of Liz Luskin, we've invited all of the elected officials we can get to for each site visit, to be honest. And so we haven't reached them all yet, but they are invited.
Great.
There was a bunch in the pictures.
Yeah.
Some of them are the policy. No, it's good.
And they were very instrumental in working with the governor to more than double the amount of money for these programs, realizing what an impact they make in their own communities.
Yeah, great. I'm glad to hear that, because I would think it would just seem like naturally they would like something. I know they don't like everything we do, but it's something that they would like. Any other questions for Earl? No? Well, great job.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now going to go on with the agenda for the regional project section. I'm going to ask, is somebody on the phone who's typing away or chewing away or something. So if you could put your phone or your screens on mute, we would appreciate it. Thank you. I know you're feeling guilty right now because I think it just stopped. All right, so we're going to start with Karen Utz in Western New York. She has 3 items for us, and it's going to require 3 separate votes, and we'll take them one at a time after each presentation. Karen?
Thank you, Chairman Law. Good morning, directors. The directors are requested to approve 2 grants to the Carousel Society of the Niagara Frontier that total $446,000 in support of a $1.2 million project. $210,000 is from round 5 of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, and $236,000 is from round 13 of the Regional Council Capital Funds. The Carousel Society project was funded to construct and equip a new music hall and make renovations to the adjoining children's gallery at their Herschel Carousel Factory Museum to house their collection that includes an original carousel, a band organ exhibit, and over 1,600 hand-punched original Wurlitzer music rolls. The newly constructed 1,800 square foot music hall will increase the capacity to service visitors, providing an expanded, authentic cultural tourism experience for all. Because the grantee is permitted 2 payments, the first at certification of project expenses totaling $650,000, which has been met. ESD is now recommending that the board authorize the release of funds for this project. The project is scheduled for completion in November. There are no jobs associated with this funding, and I'm happy to take any questions.
All right, well, thank you, Karen. I will move this. Francine, you want to second this from your neck of the woods? Does any board member have any comments or questions? We don't have any comments from the public. So there's a motion, there's a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Karen, continue.
Thank you, directors. You are also being requested to approve a grant of $1 million to Gray Cliff Conservancy, Inc. through Regional Council Capital Fund Round 13 to assist with the significant expansion and upgrade of the Visitor Center at the Gray Cliff Estate on Lake Erie in the town of Evans. The total project cost is $6,015,913. The Gray Cliff Estate was designed in 1926 by architect Frank Lloyd Wright as a summer home for Darwin and Isabel Martin, and was designated as a New York State landmark and listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Constraints of existing amenities restricted programming and special events to the summer months only. The expanded 4,400 square foot visitor center will be a year-round event facility. There are no jobs associated with this funding, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Karen. We don't have any comments from the public on this. Are there any comments from the directors or questions? None. So I will move it. John Wong seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Karen, last item.
Thank you. The directors are also requested to approve 2 grants totaling $884,704 to Explore More Children's Museum to support a $1.9 million project to make interior renovations, expand programming, and enhance safety and security for this Anchor at Canal Side, the only year-round tourist attraction on Buffalo's waterfront. The Children's Museum features 7 educational play zones focused on the unique story of Western New York. ESD funding consists of $384,704 from Regional Council Capital Funds Round 12 and $500,000 from Buffalo Regional Innovation Cluster. The grantees successfully finished their security upgrades at the end of 2024 and expended the required expenditure threshold, thus meeting the required terms of the project. There are no jobs associated with this funding, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Karen. We don't have any comments from the public. Any questions or comments from the board? None. So I will move it. Lorraine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Karen. Let's move over to Central New York. We have Dan Kalinsky, Regional Director of ESD Central New York Region. He also has 3 items and 3 separate votes.
Thank you, Chairman, and good morning, Directors. Today, you are being asked to approve a Round 9 and 11 Regional Council Capital Fund grant of up to $4 million for Cayuga Milk Ingredients to be used for a portion of the cost of the purchase of machinery and equipment at 15 Eagle Drive, Auburn, in Cayuga County. The project included business expansion involving job retention and creation, a 2-phase expansion of the facility to include the purchase and installation of a new bottling system and an automated high-rise warehouse. The total project is expected to be approximately $246 million, with 30% contributed by company equity. ESD's participation is 1.6% of the total project cost. And I'm happy to take questions on this project.
How many jobs are associated with this, Dan?
The company started with 74. They'll be creating 138 total by the time the project is done.
The $246 million sounds like a very large investment up in Auburn.
It is a very significant investment. It's one of the largest dairy co-ops in the state, and they are one of the largest, if not the largest, powdered milk producer in the world.
Great, very good. Great job. We do not have any comments from the public on this, so I will move it. Benson seconds it. Any other comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Continue, Daniel.
Next, we'll be asked to approve a Round 11 Regional Council Capital Fund grant for Market House Oswego Capital. The grant is for up to $3 million to be used for a portion of the cost of purchase of machinery and equipment at 1 West Bridge Street in Oswego County, Oswego. The project included business expansion involving job retention and creation, facility acquisition, renovation, and the purchase of machinery and equipment to establish a new brewery. The total project is expected to be approximately $9,500,000, with 38% contributed by company equity. ESD's participation in the project is 3% of the total costs. Happy to take any questions.
Glad to see we're keeping up with our tradition of approving at least one brewery per meeting. And so we do not have any comments from the public. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Hearing none. I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Last item, Daniel.
Finally, the directors are being asked to approve a Round 13 Regional Council Capital Fund grant of $1.2 million for PPC Capital to be used for a portion of the cost of the purchase of machinery and equipment at 6712 Kinney Street and 6176 East Malloy Road in East Syracuse, Onondaga County. The project included business expansion involving job retention and creation, installation of machinery and equipment for 3 new production lines. The total project is expected to be approximately $7.4 million, with 84% contributed by the company equity. ESD's participation is 16% of the total project cost, and I'm happy to take any questions on this project.
Any questions? We don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Daniel. All right, we'll move over.
Thank you.
We'll move over to the Capital Region. We have Heidi Pasose, Economic Development Program Administrator.
Good morning. Today I'm requesting the directors approve an $18,790,391 capital grant to the Albany Port District Commission for a portion of the cost associated with an infrastructure improvement project at the Port's Beacon Island expansion site in Bethlehem, Albany County. The project is a Track C Fast New York grant. Total project cost is $141,216,306. The Albany Port District Commission is a public authority established by the New York State Legislature in 1925 that is responsible for managing the maritime port of Albany Rensselaer. The organization is undertaking an infrastructure improvement project at Beacon Island expansion site, including a high voltage substation, sanitary wastewater treatment plant, intake lines, fire protection system, and earthwork to get the site shovel ready for a large scale manufacturing operation. The grantee has entered into contracts and the project has started construction with an estimated completion date of December 2026. Based on the award letter, ESD is recommending the board authorize progress payments up to $18,790,391 and no more frequently than quarterly and in proportion to ESD's funding share. This project aligns with the CREDC's mission to modernize and expand the region's ports. I'm happy to take any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Heidi on this? Hearing none, we don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
Move over to the Mid-Hudson region with Linda Malavi. She has 2 items with 2 separate votes.
Good morning, Chairman Law, Commissioner Knight, and directors. The directors are requested to approve a $400,000 Regional Council capital grant from Round 12 for Sweet Clover Holdings' $3.4 million renovation project located in the hamlet of Highland Mills, which is in the town of Woodbury in Orange County. Spirits Lab Distilling Company produces a variety of spirits, including vodka, whiskey, and gin, and they have outgrown their manufacturing and tasting room in a location in the city of Newburgh. The company purchased and adaptively reused a vacant winery in Highland Mills while retaining their location in Newburgh. This project will create 8 new full-time positions, and I am happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Linda? None. We don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. John Long seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Next.
The directors are requested to approve a grant for $630,000. This includes a Regional Council capital grant of $250,000 and a Market New York capital grant of $380,000 from Round 4 to expand the Hudson River Museum's West Wing located in the city of Yonkers in Westchester County. This expansion project involved the design and construction of the West Wing of the Hudson River Museum, which is Yonkers' premier cultural institution. The total project cost is $9,887,001 and has expanded the building footprint by 12,000 square feet from 40,000 square feet to 52,000 square feet. And I am happy to answer questions on this one.
Are we only approving the Regional Council grant, or are we approving the Market grant as well?
Yes, both grants.
We don't have any comments from the public on this. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? If hearing none, I will move it. Lorraine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Linda. Let's move over to the New York City region, live and in person. We have Joe Taswell with us today. Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This request is for the approval of a Regional Council capital grant of $950,000 to the New York City Department of Small Business Services in connection with an infrastructure upgrade project at the Hunts Point Food Distribution Center, specifically the Hunts Point Cooperative Meat Market. The Hunts Point Food Distribution Center is a New York City-owned facility located on 329 acres on Hunts Point Peninsula in the Bronx. The Food Distribution Center supplies 4.5 billion pounds of food annually to over 22 million people in the greater New York City metro area. Its largest tenants are its 3 independent cooperative markets, the Hunts Point Cooperative Meat Market, the Hunts Point Terminal Produce Market, and the new Fulton Fish Market. The Cooperative Meat Market operates on 60 acres in 7 buildings and consists of 52 businesses that employ approximately 2,400 people. It supplies approximately 35% of New York City's meat. ESC's grant will be used in connection with the $4.6 million cost to replace 6 existing boilers at the Cooperative Meat Market and install new hot water heaters, storage tanks, control panels, heat exchangers, pumps, piping, and related components. This will allow the Cooperative Meat Market to meet FDA and USDA water temperature requirements for the washdown and sanitizing of its equipment. The continued modernization of the food distribution center is critical to securing the food supply for the greater New York City metro area, protecting it from climate, power, and other interruptions. This project was completed in January. Happy to take any questions.
Joe, didn't we just approve at the last meeting or the meeting before that something for the Fulton Fish Market component of the, did that sound familiar? Or did we do something similar, or,
Wasn't it the Hunts Point? Did we do something with the Hunts Point Market?
In terms of the produce market?
Yeah. I thought it was something, it just sounds familiar. You know, what did you say, over 2,000 jobs?
Yes.
Is this like the largest employment center in the Bronx?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly the largest food distribution, you know, each of the markets is one of the largest in the United States.
Right.
The produce market, the meat market, and the fish market are all the largest. So overall, it's one of the largest food distribution facilities in the world.
Yeah. Someday I'd like to go check that place out, and maybe you could help arrange that. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
I thought we've invested other grants there too, but it just sounds like really.
Well, the governor did just last week do a ribbon cutting at the New York State Regional Food Hub, which ESD is providing $19 million for.
Maybe that's what I saw.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's what I saw, Joe. All right. No, it sounds really cool. Yeah, very good. Does anybody else have any comments for Joe on this? We don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Francine wants to second it. Thank you. And so all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. Thank you, Joseph. Now we'll go to the Market New York Grant Program, and we have Ross Levi. He's our Executive Director and VP of Tourism.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Division of Tourism today is asking the directors to approve 3 Round 14 working capital and 1 Round 7 capital Market New York grants. The grantees for the working capital projects have met their required match for the awards, which is a minimum of 50%, and the capital project has met its required match for that award, which is a minimum of 80%. The first project is a $300,000 grant to the Roundabout Theater Company, a New York City organization that will use marketing funds to promote its landmark revival of the Pirates of Penzance to a broader audience. This promotion will help bring tri-state audiences back to Times Square through their first ever commuter rail transit ad campaign and perform market research with the goal of welcoming more theatergoers to Broadway. The second project is a $332,750 grant to the New York Shakespeare Festival, a New York City not-for-profit that will use grant funds to support a strategic marketing initiative designed to draw tours from outside New York State to celebrate the reopening of the revitalized Delacorte Theater in Central Park. The third project is a $500,000 grant to the Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival, a mid-Hudson-based not-for-profit that presents a rotating repertory season of both Shakespeare and more contemporary plays and musicals in an open-air theater overlooking the Hudson River. Grant funding will be used to promote its new year-round cultural campus in Garrison, New York. Hudson Valley Shakespeare Festival will create a national marketing campaign that draws on business, community, and promotional partnerships to generate features in national news outlets, as well as print and digital media and advertising. And our final project is the Capital Grant, a $500,000 grant to the Castle Fund Center, a mid-Hudson for-profit corporation that used funds to expand their facilities with indoor activities like amusement park rides, a bowling alley, and a skating rink. The project has created a year-round, all-ages tourism destination that will add to the attractiveness of the region for visitors. The total project cost was approximately $4.6 million, and the Castle Fund Center invested over $4 million of its own equity into the project, which was completed in December 2024. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from Ross? We don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Benson seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. The motion carries. And Joe, now I know it. When we had a pre-meeting, couple of weeks ago. You shared that with me. I knew I had just heard something about it. That was it. So you were explaining that. I was intrigued then. I was intrigued now. So, very good. So I know you're scratching your head like, what the heck is Kevin talking about? Now I just realized it. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, we have the Restore New York Communities Capital Grant. We have Simone Bethune, our Senior Project Manager and Coordinator of Projects for Loans and Grants, with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning to everyone. For the first item, we're requesting Director's approval of a $2 million Round 8 grant to the Village of Messina in the North Country region. The village will oversee the restoration of the 14,000 square foot Shine Theater to create a brand new theater and event space. The theater will serve as a central hub for the region, offering a previously unavailable venue for arts and entertainment. Once complete in December 2026, the theater will measure 19,878 square feet at a total cost of $32.2 million, with the Messina Arts and Theater Association contributing $437,772 in equity to the project. For this second item, we are seeking Director's authorization for a Round 8 $1.4 million grant to the Village of NYS in Central New York. The village will oversee demolition of 3,000 square feet and renovate and construct a total of 57,000 approximately square feet for 3 blighted vacant properties. The buildings will be converted into mixed-use buildings with 21 residential units and 8,000, with the building owners contributing a total of $988,000 in equity to the project. The development will be complete in September 2026. And I can take any questions.
We don't have any comments from the public on any of these. Are there any questions from the board? None. So I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Simone, continue. Do you have someone at the direction of projects?
Yes, and just as a reminder, these grants refer to commitments listed in the New York State budget. They originate from the governor, the New York State Assembly, or the Senate, and ESD is named to administer the funding, but does not select the recipients of funding. For the first item, we're seeking Director's approval of a $500,000 local assistance award to the Queens Chamber of Commerce, made available at the direction of State Assemblyperson Vivian E. Cook of the 32nd District in the fiscal year 24-25 New York State budget. Funding provided under this grant will be used to support business outreach and technical assistance to Queens-based businesses under the Next Stop Queens program, the Queens Tech Incubator Program, and the Queens Tech Council. Funding will be applied to these objectives through March 2026. For the second item, we're requesting Director's approval for a $10 million special capital appropriation from fiscal year 24-25, made at the direction of New York State Senator Brad Hoylman Siegel of the 47th District. Funding will be used to replace the original slate and substrate roofing on the Museum of Natural History's West 77th Street building in order to protect the building's exhibits and collections. Work will be complete on the museum's roof by April 2027 at a cost of approximately $34 million. And I can take any questions.
Thank you, Simone. Any comments or questions? We don't have any comments from the public either, so I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Simone. Next up is Steve Garlick. He's our VP, Poly and Capital Projects and Senior Counsel on Strategic Initiatives. Steve?
Thank you, Chair Law. Today, the board is being asked to approve a $40 million grant to the Empire AI Consortium, which is part of a $250 million state appropriation that Governor Hochul announced as part of last year's budget. The appropriation is going to fund a state-of-the-art AI facility that will be located on SUNY Buffalo campus. The consortium is made up of New York's top universities, including SUNY. The members will fund the operations of the facility and run projects that advance responsible AI research and development. The current grant funds are to start the process for designing the facility and also to purchase the initial computer buy. Those computers will be located on SUNY Buffalo's current computer facility and will allow the consortium to start advancing projects before the permanent facility is built. Once the project is further along, we expect to come back to the board to approve the remaining $210 million from last year's budget and another $90 million that was included and announced by Governor Hochul in this current budget. These funds now are, the future funds will be used for the construction of the facility and future computer equipment buys. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So this $40 million is the first tranche of the $250 million originally approved?
Nothing's been approved yet. This is the first $40 million of the $250 million, and will be used to buy equipment and to start the design of the permanent facility.
Right. Well, the $250 million was approved in the budget. This is the first.
In the budget, yes.
Yeah.
And there was $90 million in this year.
This is the first tranche we're approving.
That's correct.
Okay. And did you say the 250 has now grown to 340? There's another $90 million.
That's correct.
And we will
$90 million.
And we will wind up approving all 390 in various tranches along the way.
That's what we expect now. There's always a chance some of this money could be sub-allocated to SUNY for the design or construction, but at this point we're pretty sure it's all going to flow through ESD.
Got it. Thank you, Steve. Anybody have any questions for Steve? No? No comments from the public, so I will move it. Michael seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you, Steve. All right, so next up is the item that Benson is going to recuse himself on. We have a statewide entrepreneurship assistance centers, and Bet Yee, Senior Director, who Evan introduced earlier, is going to make a presentation.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Chairman Law and Commissioner Knight, directors. The Entrepreneurship Assistance Centers program is requesting board approval for an amendment to the EAC award recipients and an update to the language in prior board materials to accurately reflect the frameworks related to the utilization of New York State certified minority and women-owned business enterprises and service-disabled veteran-owned businesses for investments that are not funded with federal funding. To provide some context, on November 16, 2023, the ESD board approved $10.9 million award from Treasury for New York's SSBCI TA grant program, which complements existing SSBCI debt and equity programs managed by ESD. Subsequently, at the January 16, 2025 board meeting, ESD authorized grants up to $500,000 each to 4 EAC TA providers across New York State to deliver essential technical service assistance. One of the awarded providers, Bedford Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, has informed ESD that it no longer wishes to proceed with the program. Therefore, ESD seeks board approval to reallocate the funding to the next eligible EAC on the procurement list, which is the Queens Economic Development Corporation, that is referenced in Schedule A of your materials. This adjustment will ensure the continued delivery of vital services to small businesses. The other change we are requesting is to update the OCSD, the Office of Compliance and Service Department, language on the original board materials. This is in reference to the clause for non-discrimination and contractor and supplier diversity, or Section 6, Roman numeral VI. Please note, however, your materials has a transposition error on your copy and references this as Section 4, which will be corrected in the final publication of these materials. We are requesting approval to update this language to the current version, which better reflects the intended frameworks for the MWBE and SDVOB utilization when federal funding is not involved. All other terms of the grant award, including scope and conditions, will remain unchanged. I am happy to take questions.
Thanks, Bet. We don't have any comments from the public on this. Are there any questions from the board? None. So I will move it. John Wong seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. All right, Office of Strategic Workforce Development. We have 3 items, 3 separate votes. Michelle Clark, our VP and Director of Workforce Development.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Directors and Commissioner Knight. The directors are being requested to approve release of funding for the Pay for Performance Program Operating Grant to SUNY Alfred State College in the amount of $270,223. This funding will allow SUNY Alfred State to expand their Wellsville campus to enhance programs in the construction, building trades, heavy equipment operations, and clean energy sectors. The project will also support the development of 7 low-cost micro-credentials, including welding, HVAC, emissions, brakes, rigging and lifting, advanced powertrain dynamics, and advanced hydrostatic transmissions. The program will focus on creating workforce opportunities for adult learners and dislocated workers. We are recommending that the board authorize the release of funds for SUNY Alfred State College to carry out this project. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. No comments from the public. Any questions from the board? None. So I will move it. Francine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Michelle, continue.
Thank you. The directors are being requested to approve the release of funding for the Workforce Capital Grant to Albany, Schoharie, Schenectady, Saratoga Board of Cooperative Educational Services in the amount of $3 million. The Capital Region BOCES project is an 18-month expansion that will create a 45,000 square foot career and technical education center extension located next to the Albany CTE Center. The project will increase capacity for training to 1,400 participants annually. The training programs offered will include electrical, plumbing, heavy equipment operation and repair, machining and manufacturing, clean energy, and digital media. We are recommending that the board authorize the release of funds to Albany, Schoharie, Schenectady, Saratoga Board of Cooperative Education Services to carry out this project. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? No, no comments from the public, so I will move it. Lorraine seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Last item, Michelle.
Wonderful. Thank you. The directors are being requested to approve the release of funding for the Pay for Performance Operating Grant Program to Center for Employment Opportunities, CEO, in the amount of $1,028,026. This grant will allow CEO to offer justice-impacted job seekers pre-apprenticeship training in conjunction with Buffalo Building Trades. The 8-week training program will be offered cross-regionally to meet labor demands in Western New York, Buffalo, Finger Lakes, Rochester, and the Capital Region, Albany. The program will provide hands-on experience and certifications that include the National Association of Building Trades and Unions, multi-craft core curriculum, OSHA 10, and flagging for construction. We are recommending that the board authorize the release of funds for Center for Employment Opportunities to carry out this project. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions? None. No comments from the public. I will move it. Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Live and in person, we have Josh Breitbart here with us, Senior VP of Connect All.
Thank you, Chair, President Knight, and Directors, for the opportunity to bring this matter to you today. The Connect All office is requesting that the Directors authorize 2 grant awards and the corresponding general project plans through our Municipal Infrastructure Program. As noted in the materials, the 2 grants are for a total not to exceed amount of $40,658,172.95 to construct broadband infrastructure to serve over 30,000 locations, which equates to over 40,000 homes and businesses in Onondaga and Sullivan counties. The directors previously approved a general project plan at the January meeting for the project in Onondaga County. The general project plan has since been amended, and this amendment requires board review and approval. The individual grantees, grant amounts, and project descriptions are enumerated in the director's materials. Including these projects, the total grant awards under this program that will have been approved by the board will be $228.7 million approximately. The governor recently announced the expansion of this program to nearly $300 million, so we expect to bring additional projects under this program to the board for consideration. I'm happy to take any questions.
Great to hear, Josh. You know, and how's it over? The implementation going well still?
Yeah, it's you know, I mean, these are challenging projects on a fast pace, but just in Sullivan County, and they're getting going, and everybody's very eager and focused on getting these projects done. And I'm about to go visit Syracuse to see that project as well. So again, people are very excited to see these projects, really getting going under construction.
Great, yeah, it's going to change lives. You know, again, I think we're spoiled down in the downstate region with just great, service, and we're so used to, everything being instantaneously, and there are parts of the state that really don't have that luxury. So a great program. Glad to see it's moving forward. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Josh? None. We don't have any comments from the public, so I will move it. Hope seconds it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Just an observation too, when Simone, Bet, and Josh spoke, it was like so crystal clear. And then sometimes when folks down at the other end of the room are speaking, it's you're struggling to hear. So I don't know what's happening, but these little mics are really working well today. And I don't think they work well all the time, but I know they're working very well today. So thanks. All right, so last up, we have our administrative action items, and will be presented in summary format by Doug Janice, our Senior Counsel for Corporate and Real Estate Matters, and there's a bunch of matters here. Doug will walk us through them.
Thank you, Chairman Law, and good morning, directors. As a reminder, in order to help streamline board meetings, we implemented an oral summary presentation process in connection with the administrative action sections of your agenda. So you've received a full set of written descriptive materials for each of these items in your materials, but rather than having individual oral presentations made on each, I'm going to provide a brief summary as the chairman just noted. At the conclusion, we will entertain any questions or comments the directors might have. We have 12 June administrative action items, and they are summarized as follows. Item 7A is relative to the reexamination of mission statement and related performance measures. At its June 23rd meeting, the ESD Governance Committee of the Directors reviewed the mission statement and performance measures, which were adopted in June of 2024, and recommended their annual readoption to the board. Accordingly, directors are requested to confirm the reexamination of the mission statement and related performance measures in accordance with the Public Authorities Law. Item 7B is relative to acceptance of the fiscal year 2024-2025 performance measure report. In accordance with the Public Authorities Law and using the performance measurements listed in your materials, ESD is required to create a report that is consistent with ESD's mission statement and performance measurements. Each month, members of the board make decisions on numerous projects supported by loans and grants from ESD. These projects occur throughout the state, often leveraging additional public and private investment and retaining or creating jobs in a wide range of industries. This year's report includes 3 charts that illustrate how the mission and measurements have been met. The charts summarize loans and grants approved by ESD in fiscal year 2024-2025 and are organized by program, region, and industry. As a summary, in fiscal year 2024-2025, 455 companies or organizations were approved for funding by ESD. $1.33 billion in loans and grants were approved. Approved projects leveraged over $1.8 billion in private capital and $148 million in additional public funds. These investments are projected to result in the retention of 4,400 jobs and the creation of an additional 1,394 jobs. Please note that this is projected employment, and actual employment is captured in the annual report on jobs created and retained, which is a separate report that is made available to the public at the end of each calendar year. In fiscal year 2024-2025, 642 unique MWBEs received payments under ESD grants and procurements. ESD's MWBE utilization numbers are still being finalized and are expected to be presented to the Board of Directors in the fall of 2025. Item 7C is relative to authorization to amend the Memorandum of Understanding with Gateway Development Corporation and authorization to take related actions. On June 10th, 2024, ESD entered into a Memorandum of Understanding with the Gateway Development Commission, regarding the assignment of GDC employee Tracy Mitchell, Director of Special Projects, to provide temporary part-time services to ESD in connection with certain contractor diversity and compliance matters. ESD and GDC consider this arrangement an opportunity for Ms. Mitchell to assist both agencies, providing efficient representation of each of their interests with respect to contractor diversity and compliance matters, and furthering their shared goals of strengthening the region's transportation and commerce. The directors are being requested to authorize the corporation to amend the MOU for an additional year at a cost not to exceed $51,582.96 for a total cost not to exceed $98,476.56. Item 7D is relative to authorization to enter into a contract for pre-construction services for the renovation of the Broadway Market. The directors are being asked to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with Buffalo Construction Consultants, Inc. to provide pre-construction services for the renovation of the historic Broadway Market in Buffalo, New York. The contract amount is not to exceed $449,880, and the contract term will be 18 months. Item 7E is relative to authorization to enter into a contract for environmental consulting services in connection with the 5 Times Square residential conversion project. The director is being asked to authorize the corporation to enter into a contract with AKRF to provide environmental consulting services for compliance with the State Environmental Quality Review Act, also known as SECRA, in connection with the 5 Times Square residential conversion project. The total contract amount is $312,123, including contingencies, and will be paid for from the impressed account that is funded by the project developer. Items 7F and 7G are relative to authorization to amend 2 contracts for legal services related to the Belmont Park redevelopment, civic, and land use improvement project. The directors are being asked to authorize the amendment of 2 legal contracts for services related to the redevelopment of Belmont Park. The first amendment is to the contract with Bryant Cave LLP to advise on land use issues for an additional 3 years at an additional amount of $250,000 for a total contract amount of $750,000. The second amendment is to the contract with Hunton Andrews Kurth LLP to advise on complex lease issues for an additional 2-year term at an additional amount of $500,000 for a total contract amount of $1,750,000. There will be no cost incurred by ESD for either contract, as they are being funded pursuant to cost letters from the developer. Item 7H is relative to authorization to amend the contract with Bryant Rubino LLP to continue to provide legal services in connection with the disposition and redevelopment of a portion of the Bronx Psychiatric Center. The directors are being asked to authorize the amendment of ESD's contract with Bryant Rubino LLP for transactional legal services for the Bronx Psychiatric Center disposition and redevelopment project. The amendment would increase the contract amount by $200,000 for a total contract amount of $1,250,000 and extend the term of the contract through July 31st of 2026. This contract is funded by the developer's impressed account. Item 7I is relative to authorization to enter into a contract for technical service and support for the audio-visual systems. The ID department is seeking authorization to enter into a contract with Presentation Products to provide technical services and support for audio-visual systems, all the conference rooms at ESD's offices at 655 3rd Street for a term of 3 years at an amount not to exceed $135,885.60, inclusive of contingency. Item 7J is relative to authorization to enter into a contract amendment with Z7 Solutions LLC to continue to provide Turbo.net enterprise application subscription licenses and support services. ESD's IT department is seeking authorization to enter into a contract amendment with Z7 Solutions LLC for an additional 1 year for the Turbo.net enterprise application in an amount not to exceed $135,000 for an overall contract amount not to exceed $255,000. Enterprise syncs with ESD's Horizon client and prevents instant access to applications for endpoint users and allows combining of applications and components to personalize workspaces. Items 7K and 7L are relative to authorization to enter into contracts relating to the Apple Market Order Program. The directors are being asked to authorize 2 one-year contracts relating to the Apple Market Order Program. The first contract is with Cornell University for research and development services for the New York State Apple industry in the amount of $348,488 related to the Apple Research and Development Program. The second contract is with New York Apple Authority, Inc. for promotion and marketing services of the New York State Apple industry in the amount of $1,500,000 related to the Apple Promotion and Marketing Program. With that, I will now turn it back to our chair, who will call for any questions or comments you may have on any of these items before calling for a vote. And we also have item-related staff on the line today as well to take any questions. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Just on item 7A for the board, we met Monday with the governance committee, and there are no changes at all to the mission statement. So it's the same as it was. We approved it last year. Does anybody have any comments or questions for Doug or staff on any of these items? We don't have any comments from the public on these. So I will move it. Michael seconds them. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None. Motion carries. That concludes the official agenda of our meeting. Does any board member have any other item they'd like to raise at this time? Hearing none. We are going to meet again on Thursday, July 17th. Again, I've spoken with Hope and Noah and Debbie. You know, it's only 3 weeks from now, and so next year, when we have 5 Thursdays in a month, we're going to push the meeting back to the 4th Thursday, so we're not meeting 3 weeks apart from each other. So we're going to do that next year. But so next meeting is July 17th here. Want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July, a safe one too. So I'll move to adjourn, and Hilda seconds it. All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you all.